Put me in the spotlight. What is it? November 23rd, 2021. Here we are in sunny Soquel, California, with me as your flapping goose leader, Amanda. All right, so beginning to just arrive here into this present moment. Feet on the ground, discovering there's a body here. Tapping the sacrum lower back area with the back of the hand. Just feeling into that connection. Feeling into the front of the hip creases with the front hand. Kind of waking up that connection down into the earth. Just tuning into the skeleton of the body. Morning, Jeannie. Just doing the twist and tap before we get into the meridian massage. You can feel the connection right down to your feet on the earth. At the same time, just taking inventory, how your body feels today. Continuing to land in to this body. When you're ready, shifting the hands up to the front hand up to the shoulders nest. So as you do that, still feeling into the connection, maybe right down to the heels, giving a bit more weight to the heels, more space for the arms to swing. Allowing things to move around, adjust. Kind of noticing that with this warm weather we're having, it's almost feeling like a slight sort of springish kind of energy. My body wants to get outside and go for walks and do outside things, maybe a bit of gardening. Just noticing that, you know, it's kind of nice to be able to take advantage of it, but it's also important to bring some resting time in. So it's not really spring. It's still a need to take care and slow down. But it doesn't just sort of hit you as a wall when you move into the cold weather again. Just maybe tuning into the breath, noticing where the breath is. Still clearing the way, any last clearing that's needed before we sit down for Thanksgiving. I'm going to slip to the top of my shoulders. Welcome, body. Welcome. Or hello. I say hello and welcome to my body sometimes. I'm going to drop my hands around to the middle, saying hello to the digestive organs. A little bit more of a gentle approach. Adapting to what your body needs. Feeling the air, quality of the air through the fingers, through your skin. Okay, allowing the physical movement to start to slow down, finding a natural way to come to a pause. Just taking a moment to pause and feel. Giving space for integration. Noticing how you're feeling, body, mind, spirit. Okay, so we're going to move into the meridian massage. With the large intestine this morning, so into the index finger. I'm going to start with my left hand, but feel free to start with whatever one you want. Been spending a little bit more time sometimes just holding into that V-shaped area. Good place for pain in the body. If you hit any places, just take a moment, take a breath in there. Moving up into the wrist and then into the forearm. into that fleshy bit between the inside and the outside of the elbow. Breathing, feeling the sensations. Using the breath to release any excess. Finding your way into the into the crease, and then moving up into the between the two muscles, the thumb line up. I mean, generally you can't really get this wrong. It's just whatever feels good or tender. It kind of comes around into this kind of place which feels like a bit of a dip. Then up over the shoulder. This is where you should line somebody up to give you a bit of a shoulder massage anytime this season, even if they just grab and squeeze for a little. See how many people you can enlist. Coming across through the throat, or actually up the side of the throat, across the lip, top of the lips to the corner of the nose. And just sweeping that down off the front, back, the arm. Releasing into the earth. Okay, shifting to the other side. Yeah, and you can't really do this wrong. Connecting in with the meridians going through the body, opening up the chi. Occasionally moving the awareness down to the feet and the rest of the body, and then dropping back into where your fingers are. Just whatever works. Talking to my to a body worker that I go to see, and she was telling me about, you know, having some of the creaky joints in the fingers, and she gets a bit of magnesium salts, Epsom salts, puts them in the basin, and pops her hands in there just to soak the hands with a little more. I mean, there's also magnesium creams available, but the Epsom salts is a quick way just to soak the hands. Anything that helps get the circulation and bring energy to the hands. Moving up the arm, Zipping over to the back, towards the back of the arm. Just noticing the different sensations, temperature. Coming up to that shoulder. Up through into the opposite side of the nose. I'm going to bring both fingers up there for a moment and spread them apart. So just corner of the nose and other side of the cheek. And just give that a little bit of vibrational jiggle. Just releasing that down. I realize we haven't released down that other arm. Just releasing that for a moment, just to pause where you are and to feel the effects of that. Just make sure you're standing up and we're just going to open up. We're going to move. This is just a gentle cranial exercise. It just opens up the yin and the yang part of the body. It's just tuning inwards and dropping down and in, like tuning the arms in and then opening out on the out breath. And if you can, even opening out the feet, lifting the head up. So this is a very gentle movement. It's sort of a precursor to the neck opening movement. And you can take breaths wherever you need them. It's a sense of just opening up and then coming in. Open. So as we bend down, it sort of opens up the back of the body. I always start to take an in breath as I open out. Lifting up the head gently. And then I'm noticing I'm taking an out breath. Beginning of the out breath, dropping down and in. So also you can use your eyes. Got the sun in mind as I lift it up. But if you've got your eyes open, you're just tracing and following the head downwards. Dropping down, and look, I'm looking at my feet to drop down. So you're actually trying to following that line from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven. Okay, one more. Opening gently. And dropping back down to neutral. Just to feel, pause and feel that. It's a very gentle movement that can be quite good at opening up the cranial and the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems. All right, so that's that quick that neck and shoulder opening stretch. So just that breaststroke movement through, curving the arms, dropping the thumbs down towards the earth, releasing it on the out breath. So on the the third time round, moving into a little neck opening or a neck awareness. You can drop your head down to one side. Feeling into the edge and breathing. So I'm a little bit of a wiggler, as you know, and I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna breathe in and allow my shoulders to move. On the out breath. The out breath is really important just to allow things to open and relax on the out breath. It can be really helpful for releasing tension. So I'm going to roll my head around to the other side and feel into that. Mostly there can be a lot of tightness in the large intestine operating through that, you know, the shoulder neck area. So just bringing some kind of kindness, generosity to those tensions that are trying to keep us together. Really allowing that out breath to release things. I'm going to find my way on the next out breath down, dropping the head down, releasing the hands, the arms, pressing up from the earth. Just arriving back into a neutral position. Just checking into your posture. Hopefully feeling even a little more present in the body. Just going to, the wind is coming up a bit. Yeah. So let's just sort of shake the hands. Very gentle shaking, shake the arms, shake the shoulders. Find your easygoing shaking. And of course, if you've got some overload, just allowing the breath to facilitate that. Taking a big breath in. Sometimes the shaking can be, you know, you can open up the arms, the hands a little bit to the front, or around to the back, like keeping the armpits open, relaxed, the jaw. A little bit of sound can help bring the energy into the throat. Dropping down, bringing attention to the crown. Just going to drop down through the front of the body, forehead, eyes, nose, back of the throat, tongue, jaw. Base of the throat into the clavicle. Feeling into the breastbones. sternum, sternum, the base of the rib cage there, diaphragm, down into the belly, letting the belly rest down into the pubic bone, hip creases, front of the legs, thighs, base of the knees, shins, feet, into the earth, back to the crown, back of the body, top of the spine, back of the head, down the neck, base of the neck, making any adjustments as you go to the quality of shaking, feeling into the back of the shoulder blades, back of the rib cage, base of the rib cage, middle back, it's the Mingmen area, down to the sacrum, buttocks, down the backs of the legs. Feel free to do a wiggle shake at any time too. Settling back in, backs of the knees, calves, heels, into the earth. Crown again. Feeling into that space just above the crown as well over here. Dropping down the sides of the head, into the ears, the jaw, down the sides of the neck through that lymph system, sweeping into the tops of the shoulders, armpits, down the arms, inside, outside, elbows, down to the wrists, down to the hands and the fingers. Back up to the armpits, sides of the rib cage, down to the waist. Sometimes I even change weight on the feet just to change it up a little bit every now and again. Sides of the hips. Inside, outside legs, knees, calves, heels, feet, soles of the feet, inside, outside toes, into the earth. Feeling into the vibration, the shaking, allowing the space that's here, receiving it all. Finding a way to allow that physical movement to slow down, dropping into pausing and a feeling of the effects of this movement. Allowing the softening, the dropping, shoulders dropping, hands into the earth. Feeling a balance of front body and back body, side body. Okay, coming into the space, back into the space slowly. If you open your eyes, just taking it in. So the space around the body, the space that you're standing in. Starting to move the arms, just finding your way into your stretch. From the earth up through, and you can bring your hands together. Again, with this warm weather, definitely a sense of wanting to stretch and open more. Sometimes it can be really nice just to stand with your back to the sun. If you get out to do this, get outside, bring the heat into the back of the body. Remembering that the stretch comes from the feet, the earth, up through. Moving into fireworks as you're ready. So pressing down from the earth, arms are pretty relaxed. In breath up, out breath releasing down. Noticing where you can put your eyes, where you want to. Allowing things to float back down. One more, moving into number 3. Settling down again to that opening yin. Dropping the arms. Pressing into the earth. Taking an in-breath as you press into the heavens. Allowing the arms, body to release downwards on the out-breath. Maybe changing hands as you cross and press. Releasing. One more time. Pressing into the space above. Relaxing down, opening. Perhaps feeling the neck and the shoulders a little more relaxed and open. So into heaven and earth. Pressing up, palms meeting. Dropping down into that central channel, crown, down back of the head. Central channel, of course, following down the plumb line, down the skeleton of the body. Three times around. Allowing the dropping and the releasing, the smoothing downwards. Just using gravity as our friend for releasing. And do one more. Luxuriating in that release. Yeah, this time coming up back to center. We'll move into swimming dragon when you're ready. So it's just completing this movement, being here in center, bringing the feet together, consciously pressing up from the earth, palms meeting above, in that place above the crown. And just when you're ready, sinking down to one side. Opening up the side to side motion of the spine. Sometimes I play with bringing my attention more to my arms, my hands, and that movement. Sort of like using the arms to affect the body. As you know, in QiGong, it's a whole body movement, so there's nothing ever not moving. It's using our hands and our arms in a really supportive way, help with moving the energy in the body. And sometimes my attention will drop down to my feet. It's what's happening at my feet. Sometimes there's a little stepping motion where the feet don't leave the ground, but there's just a side to side. It's very subtle. Perhaps finding a moment of really harvesting what you enjoy about this movement. Perhaps sometimes I like it how I can feel my hips. Even if it's possible, giving a little inward smile can help kind of train this sort of a it's actually an actual QiGong thing. The inner smile can flood the body with supportive hormones. Okay, next time we get to the top, if you haven't already, let's change direction. So the smile is sort of like that joy for no reason kind of feeling. It's just making the most of that response in the body. Supporting the heart and the small intestine, which at the moment is mostly at rest in this season. Still working, of course. And the more that we allow space for slowing down, that helping receive all those good minerals in the body, minerals from the food, digesting, receiving, enjoying. Isn't that what this week's all about? Thanksgiving. All right, let's do one more and meet at the top. As we do that, just opening up to a wider stance again, finding that central channel right through the body. I sometimes call it the plumb line or the middle, the spine. Dropping the hands down, just feeling into the crown. Taking an extra in-breath and out-breath here. Dropping down on the out-breath through the mind, the eyebrows, just that whole pineal gland. Really important place if we can bring some relaxation to this. Helps with awareness. Dropping down through into the skull, deeper into the sinus, jaw. Sort of feeling into the space through this area as we drop down. Finding out how it feels right now. Dropping down into the rib cage, lung, shoulder blades at the back. Dropping the hands down when you're ready. So we're naturally allowing the energy to drop, the chi dropping down through to the pubic bone, the coccyx, spreading it down into the legs. And we're going to open up the hands into the digits, the thumb, index, ring, middle, ring, little. Again, just dropping down through, feeling that connection that we've created between heaven and earth, the body being the connector. A moving connector. Down through into the heart again, to the chest, feeling that space open, more cylindrical rather than kind of flat. Trying to bring sort of 3D space into this body. Awareness, dropping down, coming down, and opening out one more time. Thumb, index, middle, ring, little. This time a little quicker, down through. Down to the chest, dropping the hands down into the lower dantian for the golden light mudra. You and your body know the routine. Just settling in here to a little standing meditation, softening joints, Bringing the weight into a very supportive place. I feel mine a bit more into the heels, allows the front of the body to relax a little more. Staying with that. As the lower body finds its easeful support, the upper body continues to open and relax. Just noticing some tension in my jaw, just allowing the mouth to open and close real slow if you've got any tension there. So this can be really nice. Just open it real slowly. Close it. Open. And on the out breath, close it. I'm getting ready for that turkey dinner. Releasing that down. Releasing the hands down, opening the eyes, coming back into the space. Maybe moving the joints a little, moving on your spot. Okay, into the Wuji Handan school movements. We're going to pick up the chi ball. And we're going to spread our arms out to the side, opening out to the space. Turning the head, I'm going to turn mine to the right, a little over the shoulder, just peeping over. Hands to the thumb, eyes to the thumb. On the in-breath, bringing the thumb in to the nose, watching it with the eyes, and then following it down the other arm. In-breath, coming back up across the chest, keeping the eyes facing forward and opening to the periphery vision, both hands. Turn to the left, peep over the shoulder a little, look to the thumb. In-breath in, thumb to the nose. Down through the meridian arms through to the thumb and the index finger. Opening it up again. Keeping vision forward, peripheral. Other side. Just in your own timing. One more each side. Conditioning these shoulders a little more. As you finish the last one, bringing the hands to the front. I'm going to do front and back. So that bow and arrow kind of movement, pulling back, following the thumb, turning around from the waist, looking back. Just bring the thumb back to the nose, back to the hand. Still feeling a real stable sense from below, twisting through the waist. One more each side. And get to the front again, just bringing the hands into the heart, into the chest, and dropping them down. Just pause and feel here for a moment the effects of that. Okay, bring the hands into the fingers together, into those little beaks, finding the lung 1 and 2 points in the shoulders nest, just tapping mine a little, wake them up, and along through the clavicle while I'm here, because it feels good, and settling into that place, finding your arms, finding your elbows, and we're lifting one arm up at a time, moving through, so it's straight up and down. And finding your way into this, if you can't stretch fully up, just keep it low and build up slowly. So we want to work within, not looking at creating any pain here, we're just working within the edges, so it keeps the body relaxed and allows it to open. So here I notice with this movement that sometimes I focus just on one whole side of the body, the side that the elbow is lifting up. So if I'm lifting up my left arm, I put the weight on my left leg a bit more. I'm just noticing that and dropping down sort of back to a central place. I pick up my right and I notice sometimes weight just shifts over onto the right. It's all focusing on the right side. So this is just things you can play with in this movement. You can feel that right down to my toes on that side. Out breath, dropping down. So you can actually do it in the opposite way as well. So if you're lifting your right elbow, you can put your weight onto your left leg. So it gives a kind of diagonal crossover kind of experience. It's a little different. It really depends on, what you need in your body. Often you can tell, like I tend to have injuries which cross over. I have a sore left knee, a sore right hip, a sore left shoulder. So the crossing over energy, I find I need a little more. If you're finding that everything's happening on one side of the body, maybe it's just, it's actually the crossover could be good for that, because maybe things are not moving from one side to the other. So there's just lots of things to play with. All right, so let's change this up and bring in the circle. So one arm at a time. Don't really worry about where your weight is, just focus on that circling of the arm and the elbow. I like tracing with my elbow into the sky, around and down. Of course, this one, the weight actually shifts very subtly. So making a full circle, staying with that circle right around, right to the finishing point before you introduce the next elbow. Again, a good opportunity to just move the eyes and the head with the elbow if that feels comfortable. Okay, so when you're ready, introducing the two circles, as one is up, the other one starts. So making sure that you're feeling really anchored and solid on the lower body. It's good support. I tend to bend my knees. It's like it helps me feel into it. Also gives a lot more space for the body to move. Finding your way with the height, or where you want to put your where you want to gaze, put your eyes. A little bit of clicking going on here in my arms, my shoulders. So I'm just slowly, I'm just slightly slowing the pace down to help move through those places that are a little kind of jangly. Helps reconnect. So here we are, we can release, when you're ready, just releasing the hands into that huge beach ball. Starting to open out to the space, the bright, white, spacious sense of sky. All that freedom to move and to breathe. So keeping the awareness, or keeping your attention up there, even if you keep your eyes low or in. I say attention more often than awareness because awareness is actually everywhere. There's a play on words. Attention seems a little more focused into a specific place, and awareness, well, it's everywhere. Dropping that spaciousness into, we're going to move through the body, so dropping that into the crown, into the skull. Finding your rhythm and your pace with this. I'm noticing I'm not quite finding that ease. But I'm just going to hang out here with this kind of weird inconsistency until things settle in their own way. Knowing there's space for everything that needs to be here right now. Feeling into the quality of the space within, matching the space outside of the body. Sometimes I like to kind of imagine this bright white light, which is kind of lung, large intestine, kind of receiving it into every cell of the body, sort of like a cleansing that's going on. Clearing out old grief, old nostalgia, just, trying to create more space for the new energy coming through. And in the process, enjoying, thinking, being grateful for what's kept me together so far. Dropping down through occipital into the neck area. I think I'm going to include my jaw in that too. You get a chance today to step outside into the fresh air and welcome that into the body. I highly recommend it. Receiving that white, bright, spacious sense, fresh chi energy through into every cell, dropping down through into the shoulders and the shoulder blades. I think I'm going to include the arms at the stage too. So the back of the shoulder blades, the back of the neck. It's always been a little difficult for me to receive, and sometimes I'm in a bit of a hurry to move through receiving. So something that we can really practice this week with Thanksgiving is being able to pause, even if it's for, 30 seconds, something like that. Just see what you can really receive into your body. Or, it can just be the feeling in the body. It doesn't have to be anything particular. Dropping down through into the diaphragm, sternum, base of the rib cage, front and back. Our respiratory system meeting down into the rib cage. Bringing the hands a little closer if the shoulders are, if it's too taxing. Finding what feels really welcoming in this body, this movement. And just soaking that up, receiving this light, bright, spacious sense. Dropping down through into the area of all the digestive organs. You in the backs of the head, dipping into the adrenals and the kidneys, stomach, spleen, pancreas. Liver, gallbladder, transverse, large intestine. Dropping this bright, white, spacious sense down further into the lower abdomen, heading into the sacrum, into the top of the hips. making space for any tightness and tension, meeting it there with generosity. Kind of see this as an opportunity to, if we fill up on all this generosity, the time we get to Thursday will be overflowing. Dropping down, feeling into the pelvic bowl, the hips, the reproductive organs. You've got the bladder. Pelvic bowl. It's supporting us as our kind of movable ground. Breathing in that bright, white, spacious sense. Putting whatever words you want to it. Perhaps presence, love, confidence. Just inviting whatever needs to fill up into those cells as we release what's no longer needed. So today we will move downwards into rejuvenation. That's where we're heading. So where we are from right now, starting to connect into moving the hands around to the back of the hips. It's this whole spacious ball. Down through the lower back, preparing for the support of winter with the kidneys and bladder, adrenals. There's energies that really require the back to be resting some of the time. So they can renew. Okay, so from here, starting to connect into the legs, down to the thighs. So I'm just swinging around a little more and starting to shift weight. Dropping down into the weight to the side that I'm swinging around at the moment. As I swing around to the left, got my weight on the left leg. Sort of this sense of dropping down the back, a bit more attention to that. Okay, so slowly from here, actually going to shift the weight, leave the weight onto the left as I sweep down the right. Shift it over to the right, down to the left. So you're sort of changing the way the weight is operating. I shift to the left, I'm starting to sweep down the back and up the front of the leg. So if I turn around. So we've sort of split that energy and bringing it to each leg. Up the front and down the back. So as I shift over to the left, the right leg relaxes and the energy can just can shift up and down a lot more easily. Right, so if you got that operating, we want to know where we're bringing the hand to. So we're kind of crossing it over, right? So it's coming up the front leg, and I'm just going to bring it to the top of the hip bone initially. Sometimes it can just help to focus on the front arm. You're just crossing over, tracing up that leg and shifting it over to the hip of the opposite leg as you shift the weight over. Okay, so from here, just bringing that up to the base of the rib cage. Just going to shift position so you can see. You know, sometimes it can be difficult to focus on both hands. Sometimes it can just be easier to, okay, I'll just focus on the front one and the back one will do its thing. And then sometimes it can be good just to tune into the back arm as it sweeps down. So sort of starting on the opposite side and sweeping down the same leg as the same arm. And then sweep back into the ball. So from here, we can lift it up a little further to the top of, well, actually to the shoulders nest. So here, this is, yeah, rejuvenation and talking about those energies that cross over from one side of the body to the other. There's a good reason they call it rejuvenation, energetically speaking. There's a lot of dis-ease in the body. This energy really needs, this can really help with providing some ease, helping the left and the right find some mediation. The right side wants to rush ahead and the left side wants to chill out. You know what I mean. All right, so bringing that up. And let's drop that back down to a smaller, just crossing over through the middle of the body. Rejuvenation is really one of my favorite movements. It's just, my body really likes it. And just stick with that for a moment. Check my notes. Oh yeah, okay. Well, I think you've done really great following along, taking this much time to settle in today. It's just really good work. Let's bring the hands to a chi ball to the front again. So we've got our chi ball back to the front. Still, of course, moving through the body. It's just the way it works. I'm going to make it a little smaller, slow that physical movement down to a smaller chi ball. Find our way into squeezing it. So sort of moving into big guy, but just slowly finding a way into being with that chi ball, bringing your attention into there. Softening the gaze, allowing the periphery vision, allowing things to soften, open. So the in-breath is opening, out-breath coming back in. At the same time, the belly, this chi ball in the belly is doing the same thing. Hopefully. Allowing all this relaxation in the center of the body. Slowly opening this up. Ooh, tuning into your breath. This is where we get to tune into the breath a little more. Actually, more than the movement. It's feeling into the in-breath and the out-breath. And allow the breath to inform the movement. Sometimes to get in tune with that, it can just be easy to kind of almost stop the physical movement, feel into the breath, and then allow the body to respond. Anyway, let's just open this out bigger and bigger, kind of working our way into a chi shower here. A little bit of formlessness for a moment, just allowing the body to experience a sense of openness. And let's find our way into some chi showers. Just easy chi showers, right? Dropping down, taking as many breaths as you need, okay? Feeling into the chi dropping through. Don't worry if you can't feel anything, but there's little signals. And you can use your eyesight to kind of drop down through as well. Finding that the belly relaxes when it gets down there. Dropping down. Let's make these smaller. I want to move us into the lung healing sound. Let's just do one small chi shower and drop the hands down. I'm going to take in a breath and then open up into the lung sounds. So taking a breath in, picking it up. What's the sound? As the sound finishes, taking in a breath, dropping it down. So it's kind of like, if you can break it in two, it's chi and you, or chew. So bring that up again on the in-breath, opening it out. Chew. And allowing the arms to relax down. Taking a breath in. I always imagine with the lung sound, I'm breathing into the lungs. Then I'm releasing it down as far as it will go. Gathering up again. Allowing the chi to drop down, down, down through the body. Okay, again, I'm going to do 6 of these. Number 4. Breathing in. One more. Picking it up. Yeah, dropping that down through. Just make sure that it's down, right down. So just do some smaller chi showers just to make sure that things have softened and dropped downwards. The lung sound actually pairs with the liver organ in wild goose healing sounds. There's a sense of the lung energy dropping down into the liver meridian. So it's not about forcing it, and I'm just letting you know that's kind of what happens with this healing sound. Just one more. And in the nighttime, the lung energy precedes the liver energy precedes the lung energy in the nighttime. So there's a correlation there with those two. Okay, let's just bring the hands. Oh, I just need to pause and feel. Let's bring the hands to the belly and just pause a moment. So bringing the sense of energy back to the center, dropping in, inviting, or noticing the breath, noticing where it is. Tuning back into this full breath, full body breathing. Inviting the breath kind of lower into the body, the perineum, the lower abdomen area. So feeling into this three-dimensional sphere, this balloon of breathing. Let's do some belly circles while we're here. So we're going to pick up on the right side, cross, transverse, and down the left, tuning into the large intestine. So yes, that's the other partner of the lung is the large intestine energy, which happens at about, I say 6 o'clock in the morning, where the large intestine energy is doing its work. It's very focused at that time in the morning. You may find yourself going to the bathroom at that time in the morning, having the bowels moving and releasing. It's not always the case, but it's one of the rhythms. Just bringing that chi through the space again, the spacious organ. Cleaning, clearing, bringing through that white, spacious light through there. So if you're feeling like there's too much movement, I'm just going to reverse the movement. Helps with just slowing things down a little, which has its benefit. So, you know, sometimes we need to slow things down. It can be not just the digestive system, it can be our you know, we're overstimulated. This is something that we learn to tune into. I'm going to switch back. Just enjoying that belly rub. Let's make this smaller and smaller and bring it inwards to the belly button. This place of connection has many nerve cell endings right into the belly button. It's a good place to help release and relax. And slowly, slowly. Let's just take a moment here to pause inwards. Just check out how you're feeling, how the body is. Just notice anything that feels really good and perhaps bring a little smile to it, lifting up the edges of the mouth. Again, just receiving what feels really good about having done this movement today. Soaking that up, breathing it in. We're attuning our system to feeling what feels really good for our body. It's kind of training. Let's do this for about 20 seconds. This is research behind all this too, apparently. You do it, if you feel this good stuff for at least 20 seconds, then you're actually rewiring your pathways. Science is slowly catching up with QiGong. It's got a long way to go. All right, so we're going to bring our feet together on the earth. We're going to finish here. There's a nice slow way into our probably busy Thanksgiving week, but hopefully created a little space. Taking the hands up, bring the palms, connect the palms above the head. Just dropping down through one more time. Down through the skull, neck, into the space of your precious heart, respiratory system. So as we receive the chi can flow outwards. I am in the chi is in me. I am in the chi is in me. Together, let's take a bow inwards to our circle, connecting all of those that aren't here with us today as well. Just offering up to our group here. Thank you. May you be blessed with peace, happiness, good health, and a wonderful Thanksgiving. Lots of receiving and generosity. All right. Thanks, everybody. I know we didn't get to much else today, but I'm hoping that's a good foundation for this week.
That was wonderful, Amanda. I needed it.
Oh, good job. Yeah. It's been one of those weeks.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanks, Jeannie. You too.